to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to continue with the Boxcar Children. So this is book 4. This is Mystery Ranch. So this is interesting. Similar to the book 2, this one is showing its age. And we'll get to that. So in this book, Mr. Alden, the children's grandfather, gets a letter from the woman who's looking after his sister, who owns a ranch. And this woman's like, I cannot stand your sister anymore. She's refusing to get out of bed. She's constantly cranky. She barely lets me eat. She's insane. I cannot handle this anymore. But the children get him to let him read the letter, and the rest of the letter says, it's like, I would like to meet your grandchildren. So it's just about summertime, and Jessie and Violet, the two girls, convince their grandfather to let them go and see their great aunt Jane on this massive ranch. So they get off on the train, and this interesting gentleman helps them with their bags. And they're picked up in a horse and buggy by Maggie, who's the woman who's looking after their great aunt. And she's living downstairs, and she's kind of cranky, but she likes the girls. She kind of warms to her great nieces, and they cheer up Maggie, and Jessie's able to make her eat. Violet's able to kind of nurse her because she's not letting Maggie do it. Eventually, they invite the boys, and why on earth can I not remember their name? And their dog, whose name is skipping my mind at this moment. But the boys come down, and Benny particular helps cheer her up, as does their dog. And the lady's bugging me. Where on earth is the name of the dog? You think considering this is like 4, I would remember the name of the dog. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. But the boys can't. Yes. Name of the dog, please. Watch. There we go. It just popped into my head. So eventually they start cheering them up, and they start kind of investigating things because there's some interesting yellow stuff in the granite around. And this is where things start showing their age. This one came out in 58. So it's uranium. So there's uranium on the ranch. There's a giant uranium mine. And eventually the 3 men had came and harassed their Aunt Jane when the children were out getting groceries and trying to make her sell the land. And she actually gives the land to the children. Not like wills it to them, but signs it over to the children to be looked after by the neighbor. As long as, of course, the children insist that she can stay on and use the properties until she dies. But yeah, there's a giant uranium mine, which is kind of interesting because that's kind of the mystery ranch. What is going on here? Why are there people sneaking around? What are they trying to do? And it's uranium because it's the 50s. And, it's the atomic age, and atomic bombs are the big thing. That's what I said about it showing its age, because uranium of all things. And the man who was sneaking around was actually hired by the kid's grandfather to come and see what's going on. And so Jane is obviously getting much better. She's getting out of bed. She's becoming happier. Their grandfather eventually shows up, and they start putting people in charge, and they're going to open a giant uranium mine on the property. So that is the mystery of this book. It is not that long in compared to these ones. For some reason, Joe is not here at all. So this is 127 pages. But again, similar to the other ones, here's a picture. This is the picture of Great Aunt Jane and Watch. So it's an interesting book. Again, you get to see a uranium mine. Yes, I found this very, very strange. And I had to remember when these books were written. And yes, there was a whole bunch of uranium stuff going on in the late 50s and the 60s. Again, not my time period. In fact, it was barely my parents' time period because they would have, my mother was not alive. My mother would have been like 2 when this book came out. And my father would have been like 5. So again, it's barely even in my parents' time period. They would have been alive, but they would have been unaware of what the heck was going on. Because uranium. But it is also very interesting to see how the children interact with their crankankerous great aunt, and how the backstory is the reason she didn't want to see her brothers because their family had obviously left back east. I'm assuming they were adults at this time, and she insisted on staying on the ranch, and because it had been a family ranch, and so she never wanted to ask. She was too proud to ask her brother for money because remember, Mr. Alden is very, very wealthy. So the children have a rich grandfather. I never really got the full backstory of why Narthi didn't like the father issue, but they kind of gloss over that in the first book. But nonetheless, it's an interesting story, and for my homeschool crowd, there's various different topics to bring up, including again the time period and why in God name uranium and what was going on. And uranium mines, which again we will go further into in Mike's mystery, which no, I'm not reviewing today. This is the 27th of January. I have not completely read through it yet. So it's definitely, there's an interesting twist here. But again, it's a cute, not too long a story. There's nothing any more questionably besides your children are going to ask you, what on earth is a uranium mine and why are they putting uranium mines in a children's book? But again, the children who this was targeted at, who would have been elementary school and middle school age, would have been very much aware of what was going on in the news, and uranium and atomic stuff was going on bloody everywhere. So they would have been able to connect with this. So it's definitely an interesting topic to bring up with these books. So that is it for this review. Be looking forward to more. Again, this is Mike's Mystery. This is the next book in the series that is, again, connected to the uranium mines. So we will get to that along with the rest of the book series. Again, I'm going up to book 19. Currently in owning process, I own 1 through 12. I need to get the rest of the first 19 that was written by the original author, where the children age. So, these book series are still ongoing, but they kind of, as I mentioned in my previous video, they become a variety of different authors. The children stop aging, and it becomes more like a Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys mystery series where it's the children stay the same age, and it's just becomes a formulaic mystery series. So, which again can still be a very, very good thing. It could just be fun. I know a lot of people, my sister's kids included, have read through these, though I think my niece is recently moving into the Warrior Cat series. So I may review that at some point as well. So we will get there. Be sure to check out the rest of the channel. Incoming Friday, you guys will be seeing another bouncing off these. I have various different mystery TV shows. So that's when I'm bouncing off of these, along with what other I'm doing Angel Island and Ellis Island and Food, and then Women Inventors, I think, is what you're getting with the rest of the months coming connected to the BoxCar children, because I am doing Wings of Fire once I'm done here. And then we're going into like Beauty and the Beast and a bunch of other stuff. So there's a lot to look forward to. Check out the rest of the channel. I have a good backlog. So again, like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one. Thank you.